It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast as we cover real estate news from all corners of the Australian property market. We are doing that 7 days a week, as heard on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Amazon. It is a Tuesday today. Nice to get Monday out of the way, August the 20th. Many people, I don't know if you fall into this category, but many people believe that they can save thousands of dollars by selling their home without a real estate agent or without a real estate company, thinking that commission fees aren't worth it. And I guess with online tools and DIY marketing strategies, people do feel empowered to handle the process themselves. However, and there is a but with this, the complexities of negotiations and market expertise often highlights the value of professionals in securing the best real estate property deal. But what about the gold rush around COVID when houses were selling within 24 hours? Many people say, well, that's a really super hot market. Maybe I could just list and sell my price, roll the dice and have a go, because many people did. Well, we're catching up with somebody who decided to take a chance on that, and his name is Brett D'Souza, who had a go of selling his home, and he is joining us this morning. Good morning, Brett. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
So we should start at ground zero with this. Your thinking was, yeah, I can save some money, sure. Let's do it and go it alone.
Well, it was just, I didn't understand the purpose of the real estate agent in the process when it's all done through realestate.com.au and domain.com.au, and that's where people see the properties. So I didn't understand the process, and I was a bit confused by the process, to be honest. And so I thought there might be a better way. In saying that, I also thought that maybe selling your house is something that you invested in and something that you're proud of is a massive thing. So I wanted to be a moment, and I wanted to use it to highlight my filmmaking skills. So that was my plan.
Yes, you are a filmmaker. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to hear some of the comments that you were getting back, because you've got your own network of friends. No doubt you've had the discussion and you started to tell your friends, hey, I'm gonna do this myself. I want to save myself some money. What did your network say when you said that you were going to go it alone and do it off your own bat?
Well, I don't think there was any big comments from the network. I don't think there was. There was some real estate agent backlash, I'll be honest. There was some skepticism about my ability to do it.
Okay, so you mentioned that there was a little bit of a backlash from real estate agents. What were they saying to you?
One of the first films, the second film I made, was with actors pretending to be real estate agents protesting the house sale. So when I made that film, I sent it to 2,500 real estate agents around the country. It took me about 6 hours to send the emails, and the most common response was unsubscribe. I kind of initiated the backlash, so it's partly my fault. But some of the real estate agents got the joke, some of them didn't.
Let us just go back one step. So why did you make that film? It's a short film, I understand. So what's the rationale for that whole process of making the short film and then sending it out? You were making a statement, right?
Well, yeah. The thing is, real estate agents are quite divisive amongst the general public. I think we can all agree that. And I didn't make one short film. I made about 15 of them. I got billboards in New York with New York actors pretending to be real estate agents. I got billboards in London. I got a billboard in Hoddle Street. So yeah, it was a constant process to try and just show what was possible. But the problem that I faced in making all these films was legitimacy in the house sale, which I did actually. I needed to sell my house. And by making all these films, none of the buyers thought it was for real. They all thought it was a joke.
Okay, so two things there. You decided to basically poke the bear with the films that you were making with the real estate industry as a whole, but then at some point you decided to sell your home. So the two things were unconnected. In other words, when you made these short films, you weren't thinking about selling your home. Is that correct?
No. I always wanted to sell my house. But unfortunately, I made the mistake of letting the filmmaking get in front of the house selling. I was always selling my house, and I thought, let's make it into a story, let's make it into an event. I did that, and then the longer I went on with the films, the less legitimacy I had. And I think you might have seen, like, there was a lot of press. I was in The Age, Channel 7 did a live broadcast. I've been in The Age twice, 3AW, ABC Radio, Daily Mail. So they got a lot of press on the fact that I was selling my house, but unfortunately I went too far and did not concentrate on selling the house.
All right. Okay. So we'll come back to you in just a moment there, Brett. And when we do, we will find out how the sale process went. We're back after this.
Don't forget to subscribe. We have hundreds of episodes, all designed to help you better understand the constantly evolving and dynamically changing real estate property market.
Vice President Kamala Harris unveiled her economic policy plans, highlighting a significant housing initiative. It's got to be called significant because it's got some pretty big numbers attached to it. If elected, they would offer up $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. Harris also plans to tackle the housing shortage by constructing 3 million new units. Harris also introduced 2 acts aimed at preventing rental price hikes by corporate landlords. She was very, very explicit. Corporate landlords are being warned not to engage in any collusion.
Because, some corporate landlords, some of them buy dozens, if not hundreds of houses and apartments. Then they turn them around and rent them out at extremely high prices. And it can make it impossible then for regular people to be able to buy or even rent a home. Some corporate landlords collude with each other to set artificially high rental prices, often using algorithms in price-fixing software to do it. It's anti-competitive and it drives up costs. I will fight for a law that cracks down on these practices.
So I think that corporate landlords are under no illusion what she is planning to do.
As we approach 1,000 episodes, a big thanks to all of our guests for their insightful knowledge, trends and forecasts. We look forward to another 1,000 episodes together.
And it is a Real Estate Tuesday. We're finding out all about Brett's story, selling his home by himself, taking on the real estate agents, the real estate industry as well. And we're up to that point now of the sale. So you did all of your own marketing campaign. The problem you were saying just before the break there, Brett, was legitimacy. That was the word that you kept using. You lost all of that as a result of the message about the real estate industry. So tell us how the sale ended up.
Here's what I realised with selling houses, and I think to the sellers out there, here's what I'd say. It's very doable to sell your house by yourself. You can 100% sell your house by yourself, just don't get a billboard in New York. 100% you can sell your house, and there's a bunch of good companies. Sale by Homeowners, a really good company. There's a bunch of good companies out there that can help you sell your house by yourself. I think it's possible. I think the things that you need to consider and the things that I didn't consider, which I regret now, is like selling. And I should have sold a year ago when the interest rate was 1%. There's all these things that you need to consider, and I think the thing about real estate agents and what they do and what's important is the follow up. It's making sure that that any buyer that comes in is followed up and that they're still on board, or are they still interested. So in the end, I had to get a real estate agent. I had to eat humble pie. Collings Real Estate. I used Collings Real Estate. That's how it sold.
I got to ask, the relationship between you and the real estate industry, I mean, how is that? Is it still fractured?
Well, once I sold, and it was quite a little bit below what I'd hoped a year ago. The market was different, and the market's gone soft, so let's just keep that out there. But I did get quite a few abusive emails from real estate agents after that, yeah.
Okay, so some of them lashed out, but I get the sense that you appreciate the real estate agents a little bit more now, perhaps.
Look, I do appreciate them.
Say yes, it's your opportunity here, Brett.
Well, no, I do, but I don't want to put sellers off, because I think a normal seller who isn't an idiot like me could sell their house very easily. So I don't think that it's a black and white situation. Like, I definitely think if you want to sell your house and you're willing to put in the work, as in following up and doing all those sort of things, it should be very easy. It's only because I was a bit of an idiot and I made all these films. It's like, I'm not the example that you want to put out there for sellers. I do appreciate what real estate agents do. Yes, I think for anyone who just wants to just hand it over and let it happen, 100%. But if you feel like you want to sell it yourself and you want to avoid the costs, yes, also you can do it. So it's yes to both sides of the argument.
Did you buy somewhere else?
No. I'm gonna rent for the moment. I'm gonna kind of rent, and then and then I will use a real estate agent. So I'm still there. I'm still part of. I'm still on board.
And what about your filmmaking? What is your next project? Here we go. Let's do a little bit of publicity for you.
Well, if anyone wants, like, I've made these films and they were a bit silly, but they got a lot of press and they got a lot of attention. I specialize in comedy and documentary, which is kind of why I made what I made. Anyone who's interested in making anything with comedy or documentary, like I'm very good at it. You can go to ds2.tv and see the work that I've done, or you can just go have a look at the website for the house sale, which is 6waltonstreet.tv. Yeah, I'm very good at what I do, and I hope I just want to make films. And I've got a few ideas coming up, but if anyone wants to make content for their business or company or anything, yeah, I'm very good at it. I can help you out.
All right, well, that's what it's all about. Brett, great to hear your story and what unfolded. Good luck with your filmmaking career, and thank you so much for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Navigate the world of real estate like a pro, with expert insights, opinions and trends to up your game and knowledge when buying your next property.
House prices have risen $220,000 since the end of 2022, but we have seen a rapid slowdown now in price growth, and unit prices in Sydney, they actually fell over the quarter, and that is the first quarterly fall that we've seen for Sydney's unit market in a year and a half. So really showcases changed conditions are unravelling across some of our cities.
Yeah, and if you have a look at Canberra and Melbourne, they are bucking the trend and moved into a recovery phase.
It does appear so. Canberra and Melbourne have been fascinating in terms of their market dynamics. What you normally find is Melbourne and Sydney price cycles follow one another quite closely. They're correlated, but that hasn't been the case. Melbourne has pretty much underperformed relative to all other capital cities since 2020, so since the beginning of the pandemic.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.